friends? I've loved Phineas and Ferb ever since I was a little kid. I've somehow never made a video on this show on my channel at all. But after rewatching a few episodes of season 1 on Disney XD, I felt really compelled to make this video. In a certain video on my channel, I completely forgot to mention that this was one of my hyperfixations as a kid. Look at these little Perry plushes that I've had as a kid. These are like over 10 years old and they still look great. Oh my god. And I even have this little Perry Tsum Tsum that I imported straight from Japan. Cool, huh? Just like South Park, I don't think this show ever managed to get bad. I feel like mid-season 3 is where the show did start to dip in quality a bit, but each episode is still really good at least. And not every song in the show is a winner. There are a few that I just personally do not like. Izzy's Got the Frizzies, this song, the Waggle Dance, do I really need to explain myself here? And this weird puppet song from like season 4. I really never liked this one. But the rest of the songs range from pretty solid to absolute bangers. Season 1 of the show is without a doubt my favorite. The animation is a bit rougher here, but honestly, it's just kind of more charming to me. The expressions are a lot more varied, the backgrounds look really nice. The voice acting is absolutely at its best in this season. Not to mention that the writing and the jokes are just a lot more clever and funny. The voice acting especially is great with Candace. Ashley Tisdale really did an excellent job with Candace in season 1. She knocked it out of the park. Yes, that Ashley Tisdale. I think my favorite episode absolutely has to be Summer Belongs to You. There is so much amazing stuff packed into this episode that it's impressive. There's so much emotion, all the musical numbers, the story, the writing, everything in this 40-minute episode is just straight up amazing. This is without a doubt the quintessential episode of the show. This episode is jam-packed with so many amazing elements, yet it doesn't feel bloated or rushed at all. Not to mention, yeah, it's funny.
Candace, we're in a hurry. Just get on the trike and we'll go.
There's no way
Get on the trike! Look, a sponge and a starfish. There's gotta be something we can make out of this. Oh no, that's ridiculous.
I see what you're doing there, Disney. Mission Marvel and Star Wars were also pretty great. Christmas Vacation is fantastic. I watch it every year. I always get close to crying at the finale. It was the perfect end of the series. I might make a second video talking about both the movies, so I'm not gonna go into detail on either of them, but holy crap. 8-year-old me had to tune into Disney Channel when this movie was coming out. I needed to watch this movie, and I ended up loving it. I still have a Christmas ornament based on this movie, and I remember listening to the soundtrack all the time in the car. This movie was genuinely fantastic. I'll probably go in more detail in a future video, but for now, let's just say that this movie was great. I loved it. It was great watching it when you were a kid, and it was great watching it as an adult. And when this movie came out during the pandemic, I had to watch it the morning it came out. I was super excited to watch this movie. I was really missing the show. And Disney was kind of silent about it for like a year or two. But when I watched it, it wasn't as good as Across the Second Dimension, but I still really enjoyed this movie. It was great. The animation was definitely a lot rougher than the first movie, but I imagine the real world events had something to do with it. But still, I would highly recommend this movie. It was a great time. The ending musical number especially was fantastic. And those are just my basic thoughts on the show. I absolutely loved it as a kid, and I still love it as an adult. Just like early SpongeBob, this show is an absolute masterpiece, and it holds up pretty well. If you haven't watched this show yet, then please do. At least, if you really want to. Disney, please do not screw up season 5. Also, I forgot to mention that this show has quite a few kitties.
Get on a silly little tricycle.
Candace, we're in a hurry. Just get on the trike and
There's
we'll go.
no way
Get on the trike!